Season 4, episode 374 of the THICCEST pod, your home for all things sports, cards, and levity. I am Jeremy, and I'm joined by my dearest friend, my son, Miho, my protege, who routinely disappoints me, Manny Cards.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to your hobby release. Today's a good day. I got my Sam Adams Summer Ale that's expired, so let's see how that's going to taste. But I'm pumped. We get to talk cards. We didn't go to a card show this weekend, but we did have some big news that happened to us this weekend. So we'll get into that later.
Yeah, I'm dealing with something, a predicament, if you will. I have no clue how to handle it. I'm concerned about how it impacts me and my collection, and so I want to discuss that. But I mean, Aaron Judge, that's all anybody wants to talk about.
That fucker. He looks like Butthead from Beavis and Butthead. Before we start, I'm a Red Sox fan, so this is gonna be bad for me. I think people, you see the hobby going nuts for Aaron Judge. It just seems like all these guys are just trying to get all their cards out of Aaron Judge and sell them. I say pump the brakes on Aaron Judge, to be honest with you, because yes, he had 62 home runs, but he's only 7th all time on the home run single season list, behind Sosa twice, Barry Bonds,
3. Sosa did 63 times, bro.
It was
Chicago
3?
State. Yeah, he's 3 times, man.
Yeah, and I don't want to hear these people that, they got caught with steroids. Judge didn't do steroids. I bet they gave that dude a cork bat as well to hit these 62 to get their ratings up. And Bonds had the best swing that I have ever seen. Everyone was taking steroids during that time. And if everyone was taking steroids, why hadn't everyone hitting 72 home runs like Bonds was? Or Sammy Sosa?
Okay, so first off, the Dominican daddy, Sammy, slamming Sammy. It wasn't just PEDs. My man got rocked with a corked bat too.
Yeah. But I think Judge got the same cork bat.
But how are you going to say Barry Bonds has the best swing ever?
He does. Well, Ken Griffey
Jr. swing is so much better. And are you eating in the middle of a recording? All I can hear is nibbling and chewing in my ear.
I'm hyped up. I got my beer. It's gross. And you're telling me that Barry Bonds doesn't have a nice swing.
No, you said Barry Bonds has the best swing of all time. And I am going to tell you, not one time did I ever pretend to switch hit and go, I'm up here, Barry Bonds taking hacks from a lefty. It was always sweet Ken Griffey Jr. hitting it 450 feet to right field over out of Camden Yards into the warehouse. Nobody was ever, unless you were a San Franciscan, hitting it into the bay, man. The hell out of here.
Is that what they're called? San Franciscan?
I don't know what the hell they're called.
Barry Bonds is the GOAT, the true GOAT. I don't care. He never got tested. He never tested positive for steroids.
Dude,
he did it, but he never.
He was the first human being I ever saw do steroids where legitimately his fucking cranium. He went from like a 7 1/4 new era fitted to a 9.25. He needs Tim Slabstrong's hat to work for that thing.
No, that's my fellow Cuban, Jose Canseco. That dude, his head got huge.
Yeah. He looked like he was swinging a toothpick, man. And Jose was great because you put him out in the outfield and it'd be an adventure, ball bounce off his head. He was the first outfielder ever provide an assist for a home run.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this season though, I don't know about you, but man, bringing that home run back, the home run chase, it makes baseball fun again. And I want I wish they did take steroids, to be honest with you, because I love, or juice the ball, let them with cork bat, but bring the infielders back a little bit and just let them go ham with the cork bat.
So I'm a Cubs fan. 2016, the greatest baseball year of my life. However, the Sosa McGwire days were awesome. And now let me paint you a picture. When I was a young bucker back in the day,
a stallion.
When on a Friday night, everybody went to the high school football games. That was the thing to do. That's where all the cool kids were. That's where all the bad boys, such as yours truly, were. That's just where everybody did. And high school football, typically in your average town, is a big, big deal. During the games, they would pause it, and through the PA, they would give updates. Mark McGwire just hit 63. And it would be like this, because I'm in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. This boo from everywhere, because even though it might be the Woodstock Blue Streaks taking on Crystal Lake South in a battle of the Fox Valley Conference, 2 3-1 football teams battling it out. When they would announce Big Mac hit a home run, the crowd would just boo. And then now everybody, you would be, there'd be like little fights breaking out, teenage boys being idiots. You'd be trying to slide up and holler at a girl. And then they would announce Sammy Sosa hit our home run, and it would erupt. You're talking 3, 4, 5, 6,000 people going nuts. And that was an exciting time. Every pitch was edge of your seat. And to your point, I think baseball has really missed that. It's not exactly the most entertaining sport. I can get my kids to go there in person and have more fun. But if I were to say, hey, Steve and Amelia, let's sit down, let's watch a baseball game with the old dadder. 3 seconds in, their brain is dripping out of their ears. They're bored out of their mind, and they don't care. They don't understand the, up and in fastball to set up the low and away slider. So to your point, I think the home runs being hit by Mr. Judge has been exciting.
Yes. And I mean, even fans are going nuts trying to catch the ball. You even have Golden Probstein and all these auction house saying, I want this ball. I'll pay this much. It's cool to see the hobby getting excited over something, even if it's the 7th of all time home run hit in a single season. And I'm going to keep saying that because he didn't win any record except the AL. So whoop-de-doo. But which is his Tops Now card, had 62 home runs, sold out. And the final sales, this is all on Slab Stock's account, $294,200. Final of these Tops Now cards to get a parallel of this card. What's your thoughts on those? Because I know you used to collect Tops Now, not collect. You would always try to get them to get the parallels. But
correct.
How do you feel about this?
Okay, so there's 2 things. One, you couldn't pay me $1 to take one of those cards. Because what I think is going to happen, if he doesn't have a monstrous postseason, nobody's going to give a shit. Nobody's going to remember.
Nope.
Right? And I am old enough, and you have watched sports long enough that we've seen this show before, that an athlete in their contract year balls out and then, maybe goes back a little bit to the norm. It's not exactly like he's a young 23, 24, 25-year-old. He's in his early 30s. And, I hope I'm not rooting against him. I root for him. By all accounts, he's a consummate professional. To me, at his age and with his, postseason history, to me, that's not a buy. Now, if he.
You're muted. You muted yourself. All right, there you go. You good? I hear you now. I heard you take off the headphones. There you go. Yeah, I hear it now. Courtney probably connected to those Bluetooths.
All right. All right. So anyway, if he goes out and he hits like 9 home runs and leads the Yankees to a World Series, that's a different story, right? That is a 110% different story. Unfortunately, I just don't see that happening. Now, back to the home run ball. The guy in Toronto who didn't make the catch and then turned around and threw a temper tantrum and like swiped at people, that dude deserves an ass beating 2 times over. Because I sent you a video, and I don't know if you made the connection. There was a Bears game, and I don't know if it was a night game. I don't know if it was Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football. They kicked the field goal. My man leapt from 30, 40, 50 feet to catch the damn football. And it wasn't a football that was worth anything. He just decided, I'm going to go get me a football.
Yeah.
This guy, all he had to do was lean over a little bit. And so what I thought was cool was the calculated play on 62. the guy who just leapt into the bullpen, just banking on somebody not making a catch and going for the scramble. That guy, big ups to him. But yeah, the guy who didn't make the catch and then turned around and like hit his buddy or hit somebody else with the glove, he deserves an ass whipping.
Well, I mean, that guy was a little, I mean, we love it, a little thick. He was a little top heavy, is what we would say. And he was probably a little nervous that his momentum was going to swing him across that bar. But you Chicago people are built different. So, yeah, I mean, you guys are built different. You guys don't give two shits about anything. But
I mean, just we're just like, if you were to generalize a group of people, you would just say like really blue collar, down to earth, charismatic, thoughtful, inquisitive, selfless, give a shit, overachievers would be what I would describe being my people.
That's you. You just described you, and you are all those things, and Courtney. So,
my apologies for that technical delay. You see these little bad boys?
Yeah,
$260. This is the fifth pair I've bought.
You did look concerned. You look so concerned. I thought someone else connected to those Bluetooths, and that's what happened.
I don't know. Maybe they died or something like that. So my apologies for being unprofessional, but I legitimately stopped. My day came to a halt, and I have the corded ones, and I'm like, I can't do this. I need cordless.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, no, my thoughts on those Tops Now cards is it's already peak. Like Aaron Judge cards already peaked, and what people are planning on doing is buying all these and try to sell them. No one's gonna want these cards anymore. They're moving on to basketball. Like it's done. Like the 62 home runs, it was the hype of getting it. They're selling out the cards. That's my like 2 cents. Is I think people are going to be holding the bag on these. Like I said, $294,000 sold on these cards.
What was the print run? Do we know yet?
I didn't look into it, but it's probably a hell of a lot for that much. I mean, and we talked about it before. There's like these Top Nows like scandal where people are getting the 1-of-1s or the parallels. It would be a shame if this is what happens. And to be I guess in the future, let's look out and see if one person gets all the parallels for these. But my question, we'll end it off this baseball because I know baseball, not a lot of people like baseball. But what was better this season? Pujols hitting 700 home runs, Miguel Cabrera 3,000th hit, or Judge's 62 home runs. We got a season with all three, and the hobby really only got hype really on this Judge 62 home runs. If you think about it, they didn't really. Miguel prices didn't go really that much.
I'll tell you one, dude. I think Shohei cards did more than any of the three you just mentioned. And from a baseball perspective, as just a fan, even though I'm a Cubs fan, I think Pujols' finish is fairy tale. It's storybook. Yeah. For him to finish so strong. I would love nothing more for him to come back and play again. It doesn't sound like he's going to. I was legitimately just in St. Louis and, dealing with diehard Cardinals fans, and the overwhelming sentiment in that town is this truly is it for him. And what an incredible way to come back to St. Louis and then finish with, I think he had just as many or within 1 or 2 home runs of Judge over the last, 30 games or so. So just to me, that was the biggest story.
I think they gave him a cork bat as well. There's a video of him like swinging with one bat and then switch the bat and hit a home run. And it was funny. I'm like, 700 home runs. We'll never see that in our lifetime again. So
the Judge stuff is exciting. And I was watching MLB Network last night, and Harold Reynolds said something that really resonated with me is even whether or not there was PEDs, whether or not there was corked bats, we saw that.
Yep.
We witnessed that. And so it's hard to get excited. I mean, it's truly cool. But again, it's only the 7th most home runs ever hit in a season, or whatever the number shakes out to be. I haven't seen many people get to 700.
No. What is it, 4? You got Hank Aaron, Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth, and now Pujols, right?
4 people. So, I mean, to me, and then again, like I said, from a card perspective, I still think of all those players, Give me Shohei cards.
Yep, yep, for sure. And what sucks about Miguel Cabrera, because we live in Detroit or Michigan, Comerica's Park is huge. And they were doing like a little tally of how many home runs Judge would hit. And it was like in the 40s or like low 50s if he played in like if it was in Comerica Park. Just imagine Miguel Cabrera at like a stadium like Yankees. That dude was at a certain point in the mid 2000s and then like 2010 was the best hitter of all time. He just played in a huge ballpark.
Yeah. And fun fact, Southwest Detroit, Michigan Avenue going into Dearborn. When I first moved to Michigan, I needed somewhere to because I was living up here Monday through Thursday and then commuting home while Courtney was pregnant with Kaya. I found a barber shop and I went in there and it was a barber who did Miguel Cabrera's hair, a lot of Lions players' hair, and Tigers' hair. So big ups to them. They lined me up a few times.
There you go. I like it. Same
Pretty
Clippers
dope.
touched your head.
Maybe. So I have a sweet, you had a question that we were chatting back and forth today and yesterday talking about, Champions League. We're excited. You're a Chelsea fan. I'm just absolutely in awe of what Erling Haaland's doing with Man City. And I know that there's a lot of talk about the talent he has around him and he just, everything's set up for him. But I always come back to that dude just finishes every level he's played at. He scores goals. He seems like he's the most physically dominant player I've seen on a pitch in a long time. And you had mentioned as people are trying to buy Haaland cards, you want to sell, sell, sell. And so I just think, with all this talk about Judge, talk me through your thought process when it comes to Mr. Erling Haaland.
So Holland, he's young, right? Really young, great talent. When I'm watching soccer, I want to see what people like to invest in is like the flashy player, the one that puts the goals in the net. So everyone's getting excited for Haaland. A lot of his goals are tap-ins he doesn't create for himself.
You're such
but
a
man,
hater.
that dude has a team. No, I was gonna say that dude has a midfield like Kevin De Bruyne. He has like top tier level people that could get him the ball that he could just tap in because you throw it in his direction and the dude's scoring a goal. But right now his market's super high and it's getting higher and everyone wants to buy him because I would say not the what would you call them? The soccer people that look to flip, the people in the hobby that just want to flip cards, they're getting in the news and seeing Haaland scored 3 goals against Manchester United, scored 2 goals today. So it's like, man, I got to buy him to flip for the World Cup. Little do they know he plays for Norway, is not involved in the World Cup. That's happening in November. So there's going to be a month where no one's attention is going to be on Haaland. So my thing is sell now on Haaland. And when the World Cup comes, when everyone's trying to buy these Brazil players, these Spanish players, Argentinian, Messi, Ronaldo, by Haaland. No one's thinking about him. His market's going to dip a little bit. It's going to be out of people's head for a month. You're not going to see this guy. This guy's like a generational talent for sure. He has a lot of things to learn, like dribbling on with his feet. But man, if he could learn all that stuff, he could be one of the greats.
Who was the striker for Man City last year that would have been in his position?
Sergio Aguero.
Was Aguero knocking in hat tricks?
No.
So there is. Would you agree that there is some skill required to finish?
Oh, yeah, he's a finisher. What is he like 6'7"? The dude's like he looks like a giant compared to these Premier League defenders that are like 5'5". It's just ridiculous.
Dude, if you want to have some fun, if you're not like a super soccer guy, and if you are a super soccer guy, you'll appreciate this more. I stumbled across these like reels, and there's this guy, and you've seen him before with like basketball. There's the guy who's shooting hoops in his backyard and he's pretending to be different players.
Yeah.
When they do that for like soccer, and like he did one who's like, this is Erling Haaland running on the pitch, and he's like a robot, and then all of a sudden, like the stride, legitimate gold. You know what I mean? Dude, I get your point, man. Because the more this guy scores goals, like there was the one where he like did like a fucking Liu Kang, made me think of like, Mortal Kombat. Like he like you remember like in Home Alone where the like the bad guys step on the shit and then they fall and they're like their body is parallel. He's like flying through the air like that, scoring goals.
He looked like Bruce Lee.
And to your point, he's like 7'13", and he's
Yep.
not like skinny, like he's built, man.
Oh yeah, he
And,
bullies
and,
them.
and so your average fan is like seeing this, and like, oh wow, and they're seeing all these goals, not knowing that the guy, who he is, what his backstory is, the fact that he plays for a country where he may never get an opportunity to
Yeah.
participate in the World Cup. I'm right there with you. His prices are way too high, and I think if you are long on Haaland, if it was my money, I'd be cashing out now, and then I'd be looking to get back in, Christmas time.
Mhm.
Christmas when people are trying to get that money, like that period where no matter who you are, historically there's that lull where
Mhm.
prices just dip. People are trying to sell to get Christmas money, they want New Year's money, they want vacation money, they're off of work, they have to pay bills. Oh, and this guy's out of sight, out of mind. That's where I'd be, maybe pocketing some cash and looking for that steal.
So, and then I'm gonna tell you one other thing that would be it's gonna boom. I know it is. I have a good feeling. I think I talked about it last episode. They're expanding the World Cup on how many teams come in the World Cup after this. So, next World Cup, United States, Norway. He might like there might be players, like the separate rule where they're like, if your mom was born here, your grandparents, you can still
Yeah.
play. They're gonna get some people because they want to play with Holland. Um,
Or they just want to play.
Yeah, and they're gonna be I feel like they're gonna be in the World Cup just because they're expanding the teams. And he was injured while they were doing the qualifying, so that kind of hurt his chances for the World Cup this time. But just imagine him in the World Cup in the United States in 2026.
Yeah, not to be an ass, but I have to be that guy because that's just who I am as a human
Mhm.
being. The World Cup is in North America.
Oh,
It's
sorry, North America.
Canada, USA, and Mexico.
Mexico, Canada, who cares about
Wow. Wow, you're gonna get us canceled. I
them?
stand proudly with my brothers to the north and my brothers to the south.
No. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, let's sell Holland now. I don't have any Holland. I kind of wish I did to hold, but I'm gonna just buy up on Christmas time.
I'm telling you, a year and a half ago, 2 years maybe, we bought one of the biggest lots we had ever bought to date from Spurs Sports Cards. And this was before F1 took off. So from a timing perspective, and Wes at the time was like, hey, this is going to be a thing. I really didn't listen. And essentially what the deal was he was looking to get liquid because he wanted to move his money into he's got a Vans box that's got just absolute fire in it. So like maybe 20, 30 slabs of, put most people's collections to shame. Well, one of the cards that we had the opportunity to buy that I passed on was like a legit low numbered PSA 10 Haaland rookie. And like at the time it was like a set, I think it was like a $7,000 card. And I passed, and like that's one of those cards that, like, man, I should have just figured it out. I should have just made it happen.
Yep. Because now it's probably like,
Oh, it's sick.
well, all right. Let's bring it back to the Judge. You see the hype of Judge cards. Holland is gonna have the chance to break the Premier League goals record, which is like in the 30s. This guy's already in the teens on goals. He might get to 60. So just imagine not just breaking the record, but doubling it. His cards are going to go through the moon at the end of this Premier League.
Do you remember prior to this season starting, there was all those posts about what's the better signing, Darwin Nunez or Erling Haaland?
Yeah.
We are just a handful of games into the Premier League season and Champions League, and that is no longer even a question.
Not at all. Holland was the best signing until this January when Chelsea gets Jude and Nkunku.
There you go.
You like that?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
I read somewhere where somebody put it out like phonetically, and they're like, my world completely changed when I saw it's like just pronounced like NKU.
Wait, that's not how it's pronounced.
I mean that's an article I read. I could be mistaken.
I'm gonna love him on Charlie. I'm gonna Nkunku. I don't know.
Hey, man, it's until he's there, you better calm down. I hope he goes to I hope he goes to Man U or something like that.
Don't say that. No, I think they already agreed with him coming in the summer.
So you're having a little FOMO. We were talking
Yeah.
about it before jumping on.
Yeah.
you know, there's some big, big, big card shows this weekend.
Yep.
And we're not going to be attending because we are married,
Pieces
we
of
have
shit.
kids, and we have responsibilities outside of the hobby.
Yeah. So the one that I'm really gonna have FOMO for is Las Vegas. I'm already seeing Instagram stories of people at the casino, and I'm pretty pissed about it. Brock, stop posting. I know you're watching. Stop posting on from Ludic. Stop posting on your Instagram story that you at a casino. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Might get off the social media, but it's going to be a big show. You have all the big companies going there. I'm excited actually to see content. And then there's what the midnight or mid. What is it? Midwest Monster. What is it called?
The Midnight Midwest Monster.
Midnight Midwest Monster. That show in Indiana. And it's like their second show.
It's big, man.
So we could go. We could go to that one.
Here's the thing where it becomes where the hobby, like, it's supposed to be fun, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go to as many shows as humanly possible, but I also want to spend time with my wife, kids, and disconnect. And I've got like the personality as such where when I dive all in cards, like if I have a card kind of weekend, it's from like Friday at like, you know, let's say I stop working at like, you know, let's say noon.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, you know, minus, you know, my responsibilities as a parent. So I get it. The Vegas one stings a little bit because we were trying to coordinate that to get out there.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, details that we're not going to share. But Manny's on the no-fly list, and it just seemed like it was too long of a drive.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not allowed at Delta anymore. They made me sleep on a plane.
No, you know, the reality is we were talking about it, and it in Vegas works perfectly because both of our wives absolutely love Las Vegas.
Yep.
Courtney loves cards. Kaylee loves hitting the machines and making some bucks while you're losing money on your card plays. And unfortunately, we're just unable to coordinate it. But it puts into for us, and this might be just unique to me and you, or you know, a few others, having a better understanding of what's coming in the future and planning better. That way, you know, for me, like, hey, grandma, guess what? I'm no longer going to waste that Saturday night going to the movies with you babysitting. We'll take the kids because that following week I need you to watch the kids so I can go to, you know, wherever, throw a dart at the map and go to a card show.
Yeah. As you could tell, me and Jeremy with Too Thick, we are not the planners. Courtney's the planner. She tells us when to record, when to post. Like, she's a lifesaver. So
No.
Courtney's the best. Courtney, you hear this?
No, Courtney's a beast. Courtney knows she's a beast. But I will say, you and me, we have to give ourselves a little bit of credit. We jumped on while I was traveling. We planned this whole thing all by ourselves.
Yeah,
and I other than the actual podcast, all the clips and shit on YouTube, your boys, I'm giving myself a little bit of credit.
Oh yeah, you're killing it on YouTube. It's been since we're
Make
talking
sure you
about
like and subscribe too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Go follow and go like. It makes Jeremy's day. He runs the YouTube. And he'll show me all the comments, the likes, the new subscribers. It's a great feeling that there's people that actually want to listen to us talk. So it's a good feeling.
Yeah. So even though we're not going to be at the shows, we're going to be there in spirit. We're going to be following along. We've got obviously Ship Shawana coming up again. We're really trying to make it a strong effort to be at some local shows, just because it's a cool vibe, man. And as Manny alluded and mentioned, as we create more relationships in this space, I love it. Like, these are friends. Like, cards bring us together, but then getting together and watching a game, talking about the fights, you know, just shooting the shit. It's truly a blessing. I never would have thought when I first got in and I was just flipping my cards, doing whatever, I would hear people talking about like the relationships. And I'm like, dude, that's so corny. That's not real. And then you meet real friends and you do real things that are outside of cards, and you just realize that cards were the vehicle that got you there. It's pretty badass.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we got close. And we shared a bed in Traverse. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that.
I don't care.
Yeah, we shared a bed in Traverse City.
You think you're gonna make me uncomfortable? I got 4 kids. I'll get you pregnant too. I don't care.
Jeremy was the little spoon. I was the big spoon.
I'm
On a
always a
king
little
bed.
spoon.
Yep. So, yeah, it's great to meet new people. I mean, we're planning to go. I don't know if you are going, but Trees wants to go to a Red Wings game with us.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool to go to. But let's talk about this last weekend because you got good news through SGC and TNT, and I got good news because I bought my first bulk submission, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to share the picture, these were cards that we picked up in Cleveland and up in Shipshewana. And so what I did is TNT out of Portage, Michigan does a really good job of vetting cards. So we review and then we drop them off. And like, you know, from an SGC perspective, anything that they don't think will 9.5, they kick back or they give you the option. You're going to see a couple of 9s, but I've got a really good explanation for those. So I dropped off maybe about 30 cards. A few of them went to BGS, a few of them went to PSA, and then several went to SGC. Now, obviously, some were held back. Before we get into each card, I will say the 2 cards that both got 9s, the top one is a Martinelli out of 10, and it's a real thick stock card. So I had no expectation of that thing gemming. However, I wanted it because it's out of 10. I wanted it in a slab. And then the mosaic on the lower right-hand corner, again, is out of 10. And so at that point, I don't, you know, it's already scarce and rare in itself. I just want it slabbed up. So the cool thing about this is these were all pickups from a show. These all came from being on the dealer side.
Yep.
These were all where I would say I had a position. I was in a position of strength to work a deal that was advantageous. Got the cards, submitted them, and got them back in a timely manner. And cool thing, and we're not paid, we're not anything like that. But the cool thing about this is when you're busy and you're turning a lot of inventory, having some help and some support is a big deal for me. So there was a stack of cards, and I'm going to key in on that Messi in the lower left-hand corner specifically. Because they're submitting tens of thousands of cards on a monthly basis, they have a good idea of which grading company is more lenient or more strict, whether it's centering, surface issues, things on the back. And, you know, I'll just say this. They recommended SGC for the Messi. It's orange out of 25. Obviously, I didn't see anything wrong with it, but they said, hey, you're going to get a better grade with SGC, yada, yada, yada. Here's why. And I'm already being long-winded, but point being is I'm busy. I'm turning a lot of cards. We reviewed them, and then we dropped them off. And then there was, like I said, a stack of cards. Hey, you tell me where I'm going to be able to maximize
Your profit.
you know, my ROI. And they did. So I've already got the cards back. They've been sitting there. I'm actually going to pick them up tomorrow when this episode drops. And I've got another stack of cards that will be dropping off. Some of mine, actually some of Manny's as he gets into the grade and flip game. And so, yeah, just really, really pleased to be able to continue to, you know, get these cards back. I'll sell them and I'll move into other things.
No, I like it. I especially loved, because I know the deals. I was with you, right? Those Martinellis that you got, I was like, dang, these are some sick cards because they're both out of 10, right?
Yep.
Out of 10. And then the Messi, I was going to buy the Messi, but I spent too much money on the Ansu Fati auto that I was like, I should have get the Messi, but I'm glad it turned out to your hands because someone else bought it and then came back and sold it to you at the same price. And we already explained that story. Shout out to Patrick if you're listening from St. Louis. That gave you that card. So I'm glad that was in your hands as well. So mine was Jeremy. There's a guy getting out of the hobby. And I've been talking to Jeremy about buying a bulk deal. Don't know why. I just had the itch, right? I didn't have a lot of inventory. You saw I couldn't even fill up a showcase. So I was like, let me buy a bulk deal and see what I could do. See if I could maximize my profit by grading. Whatever I don't grade, just sell. Because when you buy bulk, people are expecting you to like they sell at like either between 60 to 80% depending on the person. You don't have to pay comps when you're buying bulk, and that's what I liked about the idea of buying bulk. You just take more work and selling it. So this guy's getting out of the hobby, and he has a ton of soccer, and I'm getting in. I don't know why, but I've been buying a shit ton of soccer. He was showing me cards left and right, so gave me a deal, a price, and I was like, because at first I was trying to buy like his dollar cards and everything like that, but I was like, man, that's way too much work. So Jeremy, being Pappy and helping me out, said, Manny, you might want to just go after the ones that are autoed, short print, or numbered or parallels. So I asked him. We made a deal. So this is why I bought the deal. I got a Jamal Musiala. This is out of 250. It's a BGS 9. Centering is a 10. Corners is a 9.5. And surface is a 9. The edges are an 8.5. Me looking at these edges, I don't see anything wrong. So this might be a good crack candidate, which possibly I'll take you the story if I do crack it. But then I got 3 of these Anthony refractors. And if you know soccer, this guy just got signed by Man U, put in a goal his debut, and then put in a goal against Man City. Yes, they were down, but this guy's hype. He's going to be playing in for Brazil, and Ronaldinho said that he's excited to watch him play. So that's why I was excited about the lot. 3 of these refractor autos. And then this is just some of the highlights. Reece James auto refractor. You have a Tom Mueller auto. This is out of 50. Dominic, I cannot pronounce his last name if you want to try it. But he plays for Red Bull. And if you know soccer, Jeremy, where's all these guys come from? From Red Bull, right? Mm-hmm. This is like
Scoring Academy.
Yeah, Scoring Academy. So if you want to get into prospecting, look at Red Bull players. But yeah, so I got some more. Here's a Vinny Jr. number out of 125. But as you could see, I'm not going to go through them all. I got a total of like 100 cards for a decent price, and they're all short print autoed cards. Like, I don't know half the players. If you're a USA guy, this is Aronson's little brother. And there's some like hype around him, but it's just numbers and numbered cards and autos. I was like, I can't pass it up. So that was my purchase. And the good thing is he lived close to us. So I drove to his hometown and picked up the cards, and we made a good deal because he didn't have to ship them.
I like this deal. And I think this is the importance of having people that you can chat with and talk these things through. We had bought many deals where we took on a lot of I can go and I can pull Kareem base cards and refractors because I bought so many of them, and I didn't quite appreciate the amount of effort that was going to go in to do something with it. And also I think I was a little overzealous in the amount of people that were going to be willing to go through soccer dollar boxes and pick things through. So I've got a lot of inventory. So as you showed me the deal and we talked through it, you were very open and receptive to some of the, the struggles and challenges I had. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to disclose your deal because it's your money. But what I love about this deal is, let's say you lose. Which you're not going. It would take a complete disaster for you to lose. Mm-hmm. It's not like you just bought. Let's just pick an arbitrary number. Let's say $1,000. When you buy one $1,000 card, if that player gets injured, if the players around them perform poorly, if they don't have the personal success that's needed for their card values to grow, you're losing. Yep. Here, you've got your money spread out amongst 50 players.
Yep.
And if you did lose, you have your money's spread out.
Yep.
Right. So even though one guy over here might do shit, this guy over here might do great. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you've got 3 Antony refractors with autos,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those plus the Musiala, if you crack it, and I'm going to strongly suggest you do, because with that centering, those corners, you can see the edges. I think a nice little wipe down, maybe there's a fingerprint. All of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, that could become a 9.5 or even a PSA 10, depending on or an SGC 10, depending on what you do with it.
Yep.
With those, you've already made your money back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you have a ton of short print, serial numbered stuff that you now have the ability to go through. Hey, if they're not performing, just tuck it away. If they start doing good, you can send it to SGC and have it back in a week, 2 weeks. If they take off and become a superstar, you can send it to PSA. And ultimately, I think it's a good deal, just because the price point wasn't anything insane. And
No.
it's no different than buying one card and then being saddled with one card that you can't move.
Yeah, thank you for that. And the reason that you kind of pushed me towards it, and I kind of realized without you saying it, and you kind of were like, Bundesliga is the Bowman Chrome of soccer, and it made sense, because there's a lot of prospects. A lot of these are like Bundesliga, like 20-year-old, 19-year-old autos or short print autos, and if, like you said, hold them. If they transfer to the Premier League or a bigger league, these things are going to be worth. Like, I don't even know this guy, but he had a little bit of hype. Noah Lang, and then he went back down. But here's an auto of him. I don't know who this is. Fabian Close, another auto, green auto out of 50. So it's, like I said, I could just keep pulling off autos numbered and all that. So I'm excited. I also got other good news too. I was in a break, and shout out Slapstock. I hit a out of 50 Kamavinga auto, 10 out of 50.
That's sweet.
And it was a $30 break. I got Real Madrid for $30 and I hit this. So this one might be going to SGC as well.
Yeah, that's just, to me, it's cool. I think the importance of having people to talk things through,
Yep.
because every time you think you know it all, you don't, man. You don't. Or there's things that are so nuanced that we talk about it all the time. You need to have people that you can lean on. And that's why I think we're discussing, and what we would like to do is, I think we're going to do this upcoming Sunday night. Time to be determined, probably right around Sunday Night Football. We're going to just do a live stream on YouTube, and we're going to invite random people just to get in and talk about their collections, what they're doing, because we've been spending some time answering DMs with people asking questions about curating. And I almost hate that curate word, just because of all the drama that's on my Instagram with
Yeah.
all that stuff. But talking about the collections, just shooting the breeze. Like, what are you doing? Hey, let's, like, as a community, let's grow together. Let's build each other up. Let's do it. So we're going to go live Sunday night. Would love if anybody wanted to tune in, or you want to be a part of it, shoot us a note. We'll get you on. It doesn't matter if you have 1 follower or 1 million followers. It's if you love sports, cards, and you can tolerate me and Manny, you're more than welcome to join.
That's the hard part, tolerating us too. The too thick talk. The too thick talk.
Too thick, yeah. Not the TED Talk, the too thick talk.
Too thick.
So I'm gonna be dropping a taste test video, and I am nervous about this thing because it's something that my daughter bought,
Oh boy.
and apparently from a flavor perspective, it's not terrible. However, the way you have to eat it or suck it, I guess, it just makes for just like it might be one of those ones that I do, and I'm like, I can't put this out here, otherwise I'm gonna end up on the front page of Pornhub.
We're gonna end up like killing ourselves doing like some like for me, some spicy challenge, like the 1 chip challenge, thinking I'm cool and end up in the hospital for content. Watch. This is what's gonna happen with us.
So I mentioned something I teased at the beginning, and this is something that I definitely welcome any and all feedback, because I'm not really sure how to handle this. I'm a big Patrick Williams collector. I'm a big fan. Damn near any big P. Will card that comes out or is available, I'm bidding on and or watching. My Sunday nights now are like PWCC, fighting people to get P. Will cards. One of his cards that I have a 9 in, it's numbered on 10, and I'll just it's this card. I'll just if you're gonna disclose.
This would be a good comment to the people too.
So this is the Prism Gold out of 10. PSA 9 that I got at National. Awesome card, got a great deal. Totally could sell right now and potentially right around, I think, comfortably, conservatively 3x, 2.5 to 3x my money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when we were doing the Skyline show a few months back, I found the one PSA 10. The guy had it, and he had an outrageous number on it, which made me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I hope you get that number, my man, because that's good for me.
Yep.
Because then, Luca's had a really good episode with Iron Sheik talking about price discovery. And you only really get one chance to do that. So the guy, we connected. Anyway, about 2-3 weeks ago, I saw the card pop up on eBay. And I was like, okay, am I going to try to buy it? And even though I love P. Will, I've been discussing about maybe moving a little of it and moving into some more safe, proven things, because I think like a severe P. Will injury at this point might break my little heart.
Yeah.
But anyway, he had it up on eBay. He had it for a big number, and I was like, okay, cool. I think he had it for $5,000, $5,000. Well, tonight while we were doing Hobby Night School with Tim from Slabstrong, I got the alert from eBay that he dropped the price to $3,000. So 40% off without anything. And I'm wondering, what is the proper etiquette for this? Now, I collect Patrick Williams. I want to have Patrick Williams, but I also want to, if I need to buy a new car, if you get arrested again and I need to bail you out and I need to get liquid, I want to be able to maximize it. Has anybody ever dealt with this, and what do you do? Do I try to buy it offline so there's no established comp? Do I try to trade for it? Because I don't want him to sell the card for $3,000. Or God forbid he puts it out at $3,000 and somebody counters at $2,500 and he's just decided for whatever reason what's going on in his life, he's going to let it go. So full disclosure, I shot him a note and like, hey, we met at this show. I'm a huge fan. Can we work something out?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the etiquette? And I don't know if you or I know the answer to this, but what is the etiquette? What do you do in a situation like this? And how do you go about doing it in a way where it's not, in my opinion, I don't think I'm doing anything shady. I don't think I'm doing anything deceitful, because I've had offers for this card close to that number.
Mm-hmm.
But if a 10 goes for that and somebody does just a little bit of homework, all of a sudden I'm not getting that number for this card. I'm not saying I'm going to sell this, but it's just a realistic concern as I monitor, the cards that I have interest in.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't really. This would be a good clip moment and ask the people, but it happened to me. The Josh Allen card, one comp is screwing me, and it's been forever ago. And everyone's seeing that comp, and they'll go off that and says, I can't pay over that because it's a comp, and it was the best offer. The best offers are what kind of screw you, because it's like, when someone just needs the money and just takes like a low ball offer, and that's what scares. That's kind of the downfall of having data, all this data for these cards, right? Because everyone uses comps to try to get the card at that price of lower than comps instead of just buying what you like. I don't know I guess that proper etiquette is what you did. It's not like what you. I mean, he's technically could potentially screw you and the other PSA 9s, because there's another one, right?
Yeah, there's one more.
Yeah, they could screw of you two people. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you do in that situation? Like, if he really needs the money, it'd be better to sell it to you off eBay where there's no.
That's what I'm saying. Even if I wanted to buy it, because I legitimately, I don't want to say I almost panicked, but I almost panicked and just hit.
Oh yeah,
I almost hit like buy. But
then you set a comp.
Then I established the comp. So I not only did I come out of pocket 3 G's, I just devalued my own. I got this. That's you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I messaged him. I'm like, hey, what is there anything we can do? And so I'm waiting to hear back. But then that also, what does that do to my Optic Gold?
Oh yeah, that's another effect too.
You know what I mean?
Because people will look at optic and prism, and I mean, people go prism's a little higher, so it will make your optic
Yeah.
lower too.
And so it's just it's a unique thing. It's something I've never been a part of. It's never something that I've it's one of those things that as it's coming to me, I just want to share. So I'd love to hear the comments. What's the right thing to do? What could you do? What have your experiences been? Let us know. And I'll tell you what, anybody that takes the time to respond thoughtfully to this question, I'm gonna send a free slab. And not some bullshit. Like it'll be a good slab.
I like that. So there's your our little giveaways. Help Jeremy with the proper etiquette, and he'll help you out.
It's and then I gotta do like I can do like the thumbnail like right now, like this is my conundrum. What do I do? Right? Isn't that how you get views on YouTube? You should make a dumbass face and then hold yourself out.
Oh, I do it again.
And you know I'm gonna get photoshopped. There's gonna be like eggplants going in and out of my face. You already know that's coming.
Courtney, make sure you screen. Hold on. Do it again.
No, hell no, dude. You're out of your damn mind. I think I'm doing that again.
Oh, if you're listening, I just made him full screen so he could go ahead and do that. If you're listening, you need to go see this face that he just did.
Dude, so we've talked sports, we've
Yep.
talked cards. I've done everything in my power to provide some levity, but I absolutely think Thickest of the Week is going to crush.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for Thickest of the Week. Shout out Cousin Collectibles for Uncle Fred is what they called him. This is what happens.
I see you.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow the eye. If you this is what happens when Eagles are good. They are out of control. You cannot control these Eagle fans. Like I said, we talked about it before. They throw batteries, they throw snowballs, they make players cry. They want them to leave. But I love the Philly fans because they're unique. And this is our Thickest of the Week. And Jeremy, I want you to, while we play this, I want you to kind of like commentate on what's going on.
So this is awesome. This tugs at our heartstrings because can you share it on the screen, sir?
Oh yeah, let me do that.
Go ahead and start it over. We're off to a splendid start.
First from the headphones, now this, huh?
Yep.
All right. There's like a sound to it where I could kind of mute it, maybe not. All right, you're gonna have to listen to the sound.
Yeah, you have to hear the music. So before you hit play, this is wrestling, man. There was a wrestler in WCW, and if you can tell by the way I say WCW, I was a WWF guy as a young kid. But there was an incredible champion who went undefeated, 180 something and 0, by the name of Bill Goldberg. And he always had these epic entrants. So if you don't know who Goldberg is, pause this, go watch Bill Goldberg intro WCW, and then come back and watch this, and you'll have a level of appreciation. But Thicc, Dewdrop, Otis, obviously there's some wrestling roots here. And so this tugged at my heartstrings. So first, we got my man wearing like the plaid colored shorts. He's got the 3X tee that's a little snug. He's got the shades. Then he's got the other big fella with the long sleeve shirt underneath the jersey. He's regretting that decision. He's a little toasty, wishes he went with the short sleeves because, the little guys like it a little warmer and the big guys like it a little bit cooler, as the great John Madden would once say.
The great Mike Vick jersey.
Yep.
10-year-old jersey.
So he's got he looks a little amped up, like he's jacked.
Yep.
The other guy who's staring at us with the sunglasses, I don't know if he's looking to build me a chopper or maybe sell stuff from my storage unit. I can't tell.
This is just Tony and Oz's normal day. So let's get this started. Look at that mullet.
Yeah, they got the green mohawk. A man's wearing tights underneath his shorts.
Look at the flip-flops.
Yep.
Every big guy has a flip-flops with socks.
Oh, my man is jacked. Shirtless with the WWE belt. Yes.
Uncle
Punches
Fred.
in the kicks. They've got the fake fireworks at the bottom of the stream. My man's tatted up, ready to whip that ass. So what always scares me, that's just a badass video. You have to give the Eagles fans props for having fun with that. But that guy looks like when the Eagles don't get a first down, like one of his kids gets beaten. You know what I mean? Like, I just get that vibe that, like, everybody walks on eggshells around their house, and if the Eagles do not win a game, I'm sorry, Cousins Collectibles, I know that's your uncle, but he looks like he whips the shit out of everybody.
That's Oz's dad.
It's Eagles W or nothing.
That's Oz's dad. No wonder he's such an Eagles fan. He has to sing the song as he gets up in the morning, or he's getting whooped.
So yeah, thickest of the week, man. The Eagles entourage bringing out the champ, wearing the WWE belt, and I'd like to know. We talk about fandoms. I think Cowboys fans are some of the worst ever.
Yep, we are.
Just an entire like them and like Notre Dame are just some of the worst, insufferable.
See, no one's going to say Jeremy's because it's Northwestern, bunch of nerds, but
old joke never gets old, Manny. But what I'd like to know is what happens when Eagles Nation takes on the Bills Mafia? Like, that would be a hell of a clash.
In the Super Bowl.
No, I'm talking the fans. I don't care about the football.
No. I'm saying Super Bowl, Bills versus Eagles.
Can you imagine that guy coming out and then they're thinking they're all badass and there's a bunch of drunk Bills fans like jumping off the fourth story through 3 tables? And there's always like one asshole who's had like too many Labatt Blues who like jumps too far and misses and like kind of like clips the table and like just like lands hardcore on the ground and then like pops up.
Yeah.
Like, that's the person that guaranteed next day doesn't go to work because then after like all the alcohol and like narcotics and opiates they're running through their system like wears off, they're like, oh man, they're actually like internally bleeding.
Yeah. I mean, that I would hate it because I'm not an Eagles fan, but that would be some sight to see them two playing it in the Super Bowl.
I definitely, what we should do is next time there's a show on the west side of New York, because it's actually a pretty quick drive. Like if you go around, we should go tailgate at a Bills game. Like I think that would be an absolute blast.
Oh yeah. Would you jump through a table?
Would I? Without question. Without question.
I'll record it.
I told my wife that I want to jump from our sunroom into the pool. Like if I knew, if I knew with certainty that I would land in the deep end, I would be good. Because I did a cannonball in the shallow end, and dude, I fucked my tailbone up. I was walking butt cheeks clenched for a hot minute. But yeah, I would go through a table, man. That's what I did as kids, man. It was never about doing the move. Like you earned your stripes and your badges by taking bumps. So like I was always the one that wanted to blade cut me open. You know what I mean? Like I'll sell it. Like you power bomb me through something, I'm gonna look like I just got completely ragdolled. Because that's what real life's about.
I can't. Oh, well,
so this has been episode 19 of season 13 of the best once a week podcast in the world. I love it because if you're not gonna go to bat for yourself, who's gonna go to bat for you?
Exactly. I love this. We are getting better. I hope people are loving this, getting some laughs. There's a lot of drama in the hobby. Like I said, we want to just bring in the positivity and give you some laughs on your the 1 hour of week that you're with us. We may be doing 2 here shortly. So
yeah, man. So please like, subscribe. Please keep sending those messages, man. Those are, I am telling you, I think me and Manny both have like high level ADHD. And our days come to a screeching halt in a good day when one of us reads the DMs first, whether it's Twitter, TikTok, Pornhub, Grindr, OnlyFans, whenever you hit us up on any of our socials and we see like, hey, man, I just stumbled across, or you guys are funny, or, it's just a breath of fresh air from what we're used to hearing. That truly, sincerely means something to me. Manny doesn't give a shit.
No. What I care about is we work hard on our TikToks and almost get injured doing them. i.e. me, when I'm trying to dance, I almost pulled my hamstring. And Jeremy's eating cheese and everything for everyone. So
Not cheese. I won't. I'll do some. I'll hold myself out a little bit. I'm not putting cheese in my mouth. Absolutely not.
but we appreciate the likes and comments. It means the world to us. So if you can, like Jeremy said, if you are on YouTube, just hit that little subscribe button. It's free. It would mean the world to us. And on that note, follow the eye, and we'll talk to you on Sunday.